Children, don't get weary. Children, don't get weary. Children, don't get weary till your work is done. I have only just a minute. Only 60 seconds forced upon me. Can't refuse it. Didn't seek it. Didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it. Give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Thank you, Acting President Dr. Clara Ross Stamps, Board of Regents, faculty, staff, and student body for this minute, this moment in time. This is the time. This is the moment. There is no other minute that matters more than right now. Anyone who had a parent like I have, when they ask you to do something, some chore or activity, and you ask usually when did they want that done, usually the response was right now. And oftentimes it would result in us stopping what we were doing to assist in whatever they were asking us to do, whether that was giving them the remote control that was sitting right beside them or whatever it is that they asked us to do. And usually because we wanted to ensure that we had another day to live, we would usually respond to whatever our parents asked us to do right now. The word now is such a pregnant word. It is full of possibilities, apprehensions, and fears. And if we're not careful, what we plan to do never gets done because we put it off. It is the I'll get to it eventually mindset. And if we would really be honest, all of us deal with the I'll get to it mindset. If it were an assignment on paper, we say I'll eventually get to it. If it was responding to a discussion board, it's I'll eventually get to it. If it was responding to a text message thread, it's the I'll eventually get to it. I wish I had a witness in here that would tell the truth to say all of us deal with the I'll get to it. So much of our life can center around the I'll get to it. It is the danger of putting off tomorrow what can be done right now. It is the gift of right now. It is the gift of now that caused a young group of underrepresented persons to say, this may be my chance, that this may be my moment, that this may be my minute of now to actually do something great. And these underrepresented persons said they were going to do something right now in 1886, and they started the state normal school for colored persons. It is the gift of now that has produced scholars and leaders and innovators like Dr. Rufus Atwood, Whitney M. Young Jr., Dr. Gus Ridgewell, Dr. Lee Charles Harris, and the countless kings and queens and students who have moved this institution through unprecedented tests and countless trials and moments of triumph and valleys of despair. And now, class of 2022, you are at your now. These last few years have just been preparation for your now. Can somebody just say now? I, being a lover and of the arts and of theater, I have noticed some things when I was in any production that I was in. I noticed some things on the day of the show that I felt were worth noting today, that I noticed that in every production that I was in, there was always a scene change. When the scene changes, usually the stage is dark. The stagehands are moving furniture around, and many times they use what they call a small flashlight so that people know where to go. And a lot of you who are graduating tomorrow, you're at your stage and it seems dark. That your now seems dark and you're not really sure what next looks like, and it may seem like you're not really sure of what to do, but I want to tell you to use the light that has been guiding you up to this point. It is the same light, the same small flashlight that has moved you through long financial aid lines. It is the same flashlight that moved you through turning in papers late and not on time. It is the same light that caused you to be able to endure eating in that wonderful cafeteria. It is the same flashlight that has guided you to be the first generation in your family to graduate tomorrow. It is that same light. And sometimes you need to remember you've got a light. Somebody say, I've got a light. And sometimes you have to remember what light you have. The first song that I learned, one of the songs I learned as a child in the children's choir, is This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine. And even if all you have is a little light, let your light shine, and don't let anybody dim your light for any other reason. Matter of fact, if people don't appreciate your light, get in a room where people can appreciate the light that you have. The next thing that I noticed in every production that I was in is that while the light was guiding some people, everyone else was listening to the stage director. Some people were following the light. Other people were listening to the stage director for instructions because the scene is changing. But what's getting ready to happen is being explained by the stage director. And there is no way to really maneuver in the dark if you're not listening to the words of the stage director. It's important to know who's speaking to you while you're in a dark season. It's important to know who's guiding you while you're in a dark space. It is the words that have guided you for years through your family. It is the words that have guided you through trusted professors. It is the words that have guided you through mentors and friends throughout the years. And sometimes we are so focused on the fact that we're in the dark that we forget to realize that I'm in the dark, but I still got a word. If you hold on to nothing else in this season, hold on to the words that have been spoken to you in the night moments of your life, the moments where you felt like giving up, the moments where you felt like it wasn't worth it, the moments where things got declined, but you made it anyway. You've got to hold on to the words that you have had in your life when nothing else happened, when nothing else was there. Hold on to the word. The last thing that I noticed on the set of every production that I was in my life, and every show that I was in, is that, Dr. Mabel, that right before the curtains closed for the next scene, the director would always yell, "Kristlyn, quiet on the set." It is the calm right before the performance. The light starts to flicker in the auditorium. The hallways start to flicker, but it's only a signal to everyone outside that there's getting ready to be a performance on the inside. Everyone has to be quiet. Everyone has to be in their seat because there's getting ready to be a performance. I want somebody to holler out, there's getting ready to be a performance. And let me be the first one to tell you, before you turn your tassels from one side to the next, that you're getting ready to step into the first of many great performances. How do I know this? I'm so glad that you asked me, because you couldn't have told me in 1998, at the age of 18, from Jessamine County, a predominantly white town with a majority population of white students in a high school, that I would come to the college on a hill, an HBCU by the name of Kentucky State University. That as I matriculated here as a freshman at age 18, that 24 years later, that I would be the keynote speaker at the very school that I flunked out of. Oh yes, I said I flunked out. I obviously thought that I was going to get a degree in going to gospel ensemble rehearsals, and I thought that I was going to get a degree in performing concerts and having a good time with the ladies, and I thought that that was going to happen, but that didn't quite work out. And so in the age of 24, in 2004, I was handed a letter from my grades from the Office of Admissions that deemed me not eligible for re-entry for a few years. It was dark for many years. So dark that I didn't show up for any functions. So dark that I didn't come to homecoming. It was so dark that I would never show up. I would never tell anybody what was going on in my life. So dark that I left the state and moved to another state. It was so dark until I realized that I had a light. It was so dark in my life until I realized that I had a word. And it was in 2014, at the age of 34, that I came back across the stage after successfully completing all my coursework requirements through a program called Project Graduation, and I obtained my degree. I failed publicly, and I graduated publicly. Oh, it was dark for a while. It was dark. But I realized that I wasn't built to live in the dark. I realized that the dark was only temporarily because the scene was just changing. Now it doesn't have to take you as long as it took me to get there, but you've got to get in position. You've got to realize that this is your chance, and you've got to realize that this is your moment. Now, I didn't say that you won't have dark moments. I didn't say that you won't go through things, but you've got to remember that you've got a light. I didn't say that it wouldn't be easy. I didn't say that, but I did say you have to hold on to every word that you have in the moments of darkness. Now, I cannot end this message without talking about a man who was called to his moment of now, but didn't feel qualified. I can't end without talking about a man who was called to speak, but his response was, I can't speak because I have a stuttering problem. Can't end today without talking about a man who was called to help people, but he said, I can't help people because I have anger issues. I can't end because he said I can't be called because I'm running from the things I did wrong in my life. And I'm at a point now that no one even knows who I am. He said, you want me to go out there, but I'm not sure anyone will pay any attention to me. So the stage director turned towards this main character by the name of Moses and said, you're talking about your stuttering issues, but I called you to the stage already knowing your limitations with your speech. He said, you're talking about your anger issues, but I already knew your issues before I called you to the stage, and I have already decided how it's going to play out in this particular production. God said, the stage director turned to Moses and said, now I want to know what exactly is in your hand. And Moses said, it's a staff. So God said, I'm so sorry. The stage director said, I'm going to use everything that has gotten you here to take you from here to there, because everything you need is already in you. Will you do me a favor and look at somebody and say, it's already in you? Moses said, that's great, but they don't know me so well. And so who will I say sent me? The stage director said, I want you to tell them that my name is I am. Moses said, well, that's okay. I said, it's okay that I am sent me, but what exactly is your last name? Stage director, I'm having a hard time remembering who was doing this thing. And the stage director said, tell them that my last name is that I am. So when you talk about me, say that I am. Moses said, now, what exactly does that mean? He said, it means that whatever you need me to be in this season, I will be. If you need a light in the dark, I'll be that. If you need a word to guide you, I'll be that. If you need support when your friends and family are flaky and strange, I'll be that. I don't even want you to worry about the dark moments in your life, because I faced that too. Matter of fact, I stepped out onto a dark canvas once and I said, I don't like this. So I said, let there be light. And because I am the stage director and I am the chief administrator of what happens, what I say happens, and what I say becomes what I say. So when you look back through these years, student, did he not come through? When you look back through every test that you have faced, did he not help you pass every test? Did you not become the first one in your family to do what you have done and to overcome what you have overcome? Did I not make sure that you got a divinely orchestrated cash app when you didn't have any money on your swipe or on your flex card? Did I not make sure that when you should have gotten a C, the professor gave you a B? And when you deserve to retake the test, did not make sure that you passed? So whatever you need me to be, I will be that. Because this is your moment. Somebody say, this is my moment. You've got this, and this is your chance. And before I walk off this stage, I know you're asking, why am I talking with such confidence? And why do I have such bass in my voice? And why am I hollering like this when I should be speaking in a low academic tone, Dr. Hamilton? Excuse me while I reflect for a minute. Because why I am excited right now is because I'm telling you, and I told you, that in 2014, at the age of 24, I was kicked out. At the age of 24, I was kicked out. But today, I'm not 24. And today, I'm not a college dropout. 18 years later, I'm the 2022 Baccalaureate speaker. And I just want to ask the room, won't he do it? So when things seem wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, rest if you must. But in the words of alumnus and Esquire Patricia Russell McLeod, never, 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 never quit. This is your moment and this is your now. So children, don't get weary. Children, don't get weary. Children, don't get weary till your work is done. My name is Mario J. Radford, and I just got one question. Who you with?